We've all been to meetings that have been a waste of time. We talked a bit in class about the Peter Principle and how important meetings are to support the incompetence, to hide incompetence. Uh, Meetings are important, but let's see if we can avoid the downfalls. Here's a quick list of the objectives of this chapter. Why do we have meetings? How are we going to plan them? What is an agenda? And scheduling meetings. Some more objectives, effective meetings, how to take notes, minutes, how do you finish the meeting? These things can go on and on and on and on. The biggest thing is what you get out of the meeting, some kind of action plans and some problems. One of the big things about meetings, 3 or more people get together, right? And they discuss, debate, decide, plan, and solve problems. That's called consensus building, right? And it's got to be in line with the company's goals. You need contact with other people, and we're recording this over the pandemic. You can do this over the phone, conference calls, nonverbal cues. In fact, they said that some people are so good at it, they can tell a lot just by the inflections of people's voices and things. So there are more than just nonverbal cues. You can also take tone of voice and things like that. So why do we have meetings? Share information, problem solving. We're going to do some planning. We're going to provide updates on something we did in the past and make decisions. Again, this is consensus, and you're getting some action out of this thing. A virtual meeting, this is just basically your meeting not in person, just over the internet, FaceTime, something like that. Also, another one is conference calling, but basically you're just meeting, but not in person. Okay, if you're going to have a meeting, first of all, you got to say, why are we having a meeting, right? Do we even need this thing? Don't have a meeting just for a meeting's sake. And who needs to be there, of course. And you want an agenda. This will make the meeting go very quickly. Nothing worse than going to a meeting, watch them try to make up stuff on the fly. And choose an appropriate setting. A neutral territory is probably best in person, but if you can't do that, just find some place. Virtual meetings too are a good way to do it. We had that expression in the first day of class. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's kind of the way things are with meetings. So it depends what you want. If you want to solve problems or make important decisions, you don't want more than 5 people. There's that magic number, 5 in a team. If you're just going to identify problems, no more than 10 participants. Basically, that's you're getting above the 9 or comfortable level. Present and review information. Get up to about 30 people. If you get more than 30 people, what happens? People will just kind of just doze off and go into their own little world. Finally, if you want to motivate participants, you can have a pep rally. Basically, this is you think of a big sporting event, get all the fans together and start cheering and stuff. That's motivating participants. That's a pep rally. Okay, this is an agenda outline. First thing you want to do is just get the meeting started, make sure everybody's there. This is especially important if you got more than 5 people. It can be more informal if it's less than 5 people. You approve last meeting's minutes, make sure everything's up to snuff. Everybody should have reviewed what they discussed. The chairperson's probably going to tell you why he called the meeting and what he wants to get done this time. Committee reports, if you had some information committees were supposed to get and come back with, this is where you bring it up. You talk about the old business, right? So you had some stuff you brought up last meeting. It festered for a while. So what do you think of it now? And then you bring up new business, right? So what's happened since the last meeting? You make any announcements and adjourn. Don't let this thing drag on. When you're done, you're done. Developing an agenda. First of all, you want to answer some questions that anybody might have, or why you're even having the meeting. Establish a definite start time. Yes. Establish a definite end time. Yes. Don't go past that. If you're done with the meeting, you're done with the meeting. Don't sit there and just let it linger because you got an extra 15 minutes. I've already been in meetings where The agenda said we'd spend 15 minutes on introductions, and there's only 4 of us in the meeting. And we sat around for 15 minutes eating donuts and drinking coffee, right? Because that's what the agenda said. It should be event driven. Time is important as far as definite start and end times. You don't want to go past the time, but event driven. When you're done, you're done. You want this thing to be organized by the topics. Try to estimate how long it's going to take for each item. But again, if you're done early, you're done early, okay? And make sure people have the agenda in advance so they know what's coming up. No surprises in the meeting. This is an example of an agenda. This quality team is going to be on April 11th. So what they got is on the top, information people should know. So this thing starts at 9 o'clock and it's going to end at 10 o'clock. Where it's located in conference room. The different things they're going to discuss. Who's going to be leading the discussion. Okay, and then how much time they think it's going to take. Some do's: you don't want to conflict with other events and schedules. Use Google calendars or some kind of calendar event to schedule something. Avoid the dead zones. We'll talk about what they are. Mornings and afternoons are probably, use those properly. We'll talk a bit about that. And mix it up occasionally. Don't have the same thing all the time. Just variety makes it more interesting. Okay, some don'ts for scheduling meetings. Don't physically walk around and check to see if they can meet. It'll take more time to schedule a meeting than to actually have the meeting. Just send out an email. We got the technology, right? If everyone can't attend, and most times you won't get everybody there, just try to get most of the people. Okay? And dead zones. These are times when people just aren't ready to focus on a meeting. Monday mornings, one time. Friday afternoons, another bad time. Just don't do it when people, people are going to be distracted or not fully engaged. And if you got things that requires participation, don't do it after lunch. My goodness, don't do it after lunch. And make sure you get it when people are all pepped up and excited. And if you can change the place where you meet and time, that's cool too. That's always good to have some variety. So an effective meeting, organize the physical environment. If you're going to make decisions or fix some problems or identify some problems, less than 10 people or so, then you want to make it all face-to-face where you can see each other. If you're just going to present information or have a pep rally, it's okay to have them in rows and just in bleachers kind of thing. Make sure you start the meeting on time. Don't waste time. Follow the agenda. Use a variety of presentation methods. PowerPoints, movies, things like that, right? Hands-on. And if you got lengthy discussion items, postpone them, right? Don't get trapped into talking about one thing through the whole meetings. And don't go past your end time, all right? Just finish on time. Here's a slide that says how to present things, different varieties. You got discussion, slideshow, brainstorming, handouts, anything like that, or just a variety. Some taking notes. Make sure you just got one note taker. Don't have 2 people doing it, all right? Just one's enough. Keep the broader audience in mind. That means your management's going to read this, maybe some other people reading the notes, right? And then make sure you get the key decisions and discussion items. And then you get these minutes out right away. Don't sit on them. Okay, this is a format for minute updates, meeting minutes. You can see they got information up on top. And this is where you tell the managers who missed. In this case, Patty missed. And everybody's going to know it now. And John, he's the one that took the notes, right? So the first thing they did is they said, well, we're going to make some ground rules. And you can see how she took notes on that. Okay, here's some things you got to do for concluding a meeting. Make sure you summarize what you discussed and the decisions made. Review all the things you're going to do, all the action items, very specific on that. Make sure each action item has responsibility, somebody responsible for it. Set the deadlines and plan a follow-up. It doesn't have to be another meeting, just some way of following up to make sure the action items are being done. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to summarize an action plan. You want to be very specific on this. Um, more than about 9 people, more than 5 people aren't going to get things done. So you want to assign a task to the small group as possible so it gets done. Also got to have a due date. You're not going to believe this, but there's some people listening to this right now that are going to procrastinate, not listen to it until the last minute and do their work till the last minute. People won't do it until the due date. And don't assign a task without letting a person know how to deliver the results. What do you expect from this guy or this woman? What do you want from them when it's all done? We've all been to those meetings where somebody just takes over the conversation and it's all about him. You want everybody to participate, so you want everything to be balanced. When they say involve wallflowers, some people just sit there. Make sure you get them involved. Ask them a direct question, see what they say. There's going to be fights, right? We talked about that. And if people are tardy in absence, deal with it. Deal with it. If they're not going to participate, how badly do you need them on the team? How badly do you need them on the at the meetings? Some don'ts. Don't let somebody get a new discussion copy, especially if nobody's aware that, or had any time to be aware of what they're even talking about, right? Again, get the shy person to involved, but don't force them. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. Acknowledge conflict, all right? Just acknowledge it and deal with it, okay? Don't take sides, right? It's not it's supposed to be a win-lose. It's supposed to be a consensus. And don't wait for anybody. If they're not there, you just go on without them. And don't be smart with people, right? And don't try to embarrass. Don't be a super chicken is what they're saying here. And we all know what that means. We saw the slide or the video. This is an example of balancing participation. Eric is trying to take over the meeting, right? So the meeting leader is a calm, cool professional, and it shows you how you can how he's going to handle this or she. And I'll just let you read through this. Here's some online meeting tools. There's a lot more than this. This was written about 6 years ago. Zoom. I just had one on Zoom. There's a lot of these things. I'm not going to spend much time on this one. If you have an online meeting tool and you've never organized one, but you have to, somebody out there has done it before, and there's YouTube videos, everything like that. It's not that hard to do. Not that hard to do. You create the meeting, you invite people, and then you start it. Usually you just have to call in or get into the website, but it's not that hard. And the best way to do that is just do it one time. I have never used Zoho Meeting, but if you ever did, here's how you do it. I was tempted to try a Zoom meeting with everybody because it doesn't take any extra software or anything, but there's just too many people, I think, in the classroom. If you want to learn how to do it, and after we come back to class, I'll be glad to show you how to do it. Here's another slide on Zoho meetings, right? I think the guy that wrote this book must be getting a kickback from Zoho. Okay, here's the summary. The role of meetings, how to plan a meeting, agendas. There's some examples in the book and in the PowerPoint, and scheduling meetings. You don't want those meetings where you just have meetings to meet. You want to make sure you take notes, right, and publish minutes. Give some action plans on it. Something's got to come out of this meeting, and there's going to be some problems with meetings. Solve them.